Most of the time, I'm in the WGUC studio all alone, but today we are having a lot of fun during this fun drive by bringing you some live music from some incredible musicians, people that we're happy to call friends, neighbors, and colleagues. I'm in the studio with Suzanne Bona and Richard Goering. Thank you for coming and welcome.
Hey, thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us, yeah.
So first of all, thank you for jumping in on such short notice. I think I sent Suzanne an email and said, would you consider doing this? And she said, how's 15 minutes from now? We're really excited to present so much music, especially during this fun drive, our first real fun drive in the new building. It's kind of a new tradition at WGUC, and we're proud to work with great musicians such as yourself. What did you begin with, Suzanne? What was that piece?
So we played two movements from a suite of 5 pieces by Gwyneth Walker, and she is a woman composer who now lives in Vermont, but she also has ties to Connecticut, which is where I'm from and where I now live. And we love these 5 pieces. So we played the second and the fourth movements of them. They have a sort of like a folky sort of sound, country. I don't know, that we like that. And actually, I will say that all of the music that we're going to play for you today, including that music by Gwyneth Walker, is music by living composers.
Oh,
Because, classical music is alive and well, right?
yes, it is. Someone once asked me, has all the Baroque music ever been played? Is that promo? So that brings me to the question, with so much material and so little time, Richard, do you have criteria when you sit down to work up a new piece with Suzanne?
The great thing about all the rep we do is that really we're equal partners. I have played my share of boom chink guitar parts, but nothing that we play doesn't have a great part for me. And that's, I guess, if I had a criteria, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Flute and guitar is one of my favorite combos. It just both of them are beautiful on their own. Together, they have a wonderful sound. So I'm going to ask you to tell me what you're playing. What's your guitar today, Richard? My
guitar is a 1977 Ramirez. I've had it. It was my first good guitar, and I just love it. I put it away for about 2 decades and got it out about 10 years ago and thought, what? Why did I do this?
Yeah.
And so, no, it's been a great instrument. So
it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
What's your flute, Suzanne?
So my flute is a Haynes, which is a Boston flute maker, and I have been playing it. I actually got, so it's sort of a similar story to Richard and his guitar. I got this flute in college, and then it had some repair issues, and I wasn't really satisfied with the repair people I had access to, so I actually bought another flute. I kind of put this one away for a while, and then same thing. I found someone wonderful to work on it, and I got the instrument back out again, and I love it now. And then I have a Lillian Burkhart head joint. So this is a thing with flute players. Like we use a lot of lip balm, and then we obsess over what head joint we're using on the instrument. So there you go.
Like nails for guitarists.
Exactly. We all have our little quirks.
I've known you both for a very long time. How long have you been playing together, and how did you get started?
I thought about that today.
Uh-oh.
And I would say 10 or 15 years.
I'm thinking closer to 15, yeah.
Yeah, wasn't it in the 90s or something when we started?
Yeah, and actually there's a great story about how we started the very first gig we had. Yeah, he knows where I'm going with this. So there was an ad in the paper with a cat rescue organization, Ohio Alley Cat Rescue, which is still in operation and is a wonderful organization. And they had an ad. They were looking for musicians to play benefit concerts. And Naomi Lewin was still working here, and she's a wonderful singer. And she and I wanted to play stuff. In fact, we wanted to particularly, she's a cat lover like I am, and we wanted to play these pieces for voice, flute, and guitar. And we didn't know a guitarist. So she went to CCM. She went to Claire Callahan at CCM, and Claire gave her Richard's name. And we, it was like sight unseen. And we played this gig, and we played a few other pieces as well, but we played these Sephardic songs in particular. And then we just kind of continued to perform together, the three of us. And then Richard and I started playing together as well. And Naomi moved away. And so that was the Ohio Alley Cat Rescue gig was the first gig. And it was great. It was really fun. And I have an Ohio Alley Cat Rescue cat right now.
Oh,
yeah,
Pumpkin?
My Pumpkin, yes.
Richard, you're a dog guy, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
That's okay.
Well, I got
we'll
my
let you
nose
stay.
and played the concert. No, that's fine.
Well,
yes.
I know you've done a lot of things for WGUC on our albums, individually, separately, and a lot of our events. We thank you for that. And as thrilling as our conversation is, I'm thinking our listeners would love to hear more music. So what have you got next?
We are going to play next a movement, the final movement of a setting, basically of the Four Seasons by the living composer, Jeffrey Van. And this was actually also something that Richard brought to me. We played it for the Cincinnati Guitar or
Classical
CCM
Guitar
Workshop. Yeah, a bunch of years ago. And we actually had a little bit of a session with Jeffrey Van to kind of tweak it a little bit. So this is the final movement, the spring movement of the Suite Turning
Turning of the Year.
Turning of the
name
Year.
Of the piece.
And so it's Four Seasons by Jeffrey Van, Turning of the Year.
Yeah.
Once again, from our recording studio at WGUC, guitarist Richard Goering, flutist Suzanne Bona. Visiting with our good friends and talented musicians, Suzanne Bona and Richard Goering. Thank you again for being here. What do you enjoy more, performing live or recording?
Performing live for me.
Live. So much better.
Same. But here you are in our studio. So what do you think of this new place?
Oh, my
I
goodness.
love it.
It's so fabulous. You know what it is? It's such a testament to the community to support and sustain an organization like this that has such forward-thinking ideas about not just radio and the technical aspects of it, but the community aspect of it. And this is a showpiece in this community. And what an honor and what a special privilege to get to be part of an organization that is so forward thinking. So all the more reason to support the station.
Well, now that I think of it, this is actually my first session in here, too. I get to do it with you two. So that's something. Yeah. Well, Suzanne, I know that you know a thing or two about fund drives and raising funds for public radio. Richard, you've also been a longtime listener and supporter of public radio. Can you just kind of tell us why you think it's important to have a local classical music station?
Yes. Well, first of all, I believe in classical music. I mean, I think that it needs to be heard. I think GUC has done great things for getting the music out in the community, and I like the fact that the programming has changed, and there's more current music, more new composers. I mean, When GUC started back in the day at UC, the programming was sort of like programming for the CSO used to be. All the greats and not much else. But GUC's done wonders with that kind of thing, and the fact that you can get NPR on it is great, especially in this day and age. So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're all in the family here. Our sister station, WVXU, and the music and the arts here at GUC. I think that is a kind of a unique setup. I don't know, Suzanne, are there other public radio situations like that around the country?
Yeah, actually, I think there was a real trend a few years ago for stations to sort of have a classical stream and then a separate station, separate channel with the news and talk stream. And, part of it had to do with stations that were having trouble with classical music specifically, and this kind of gets back to your original question. So a lot of them were dropping classical programming, and they were realizing this wasn't a great thing for the community. And then they would go out and they would find another channel, another signal to be able to then, create sort of the all classical channel and then the all news and talk channel. But again, to your point, why support it? My gosh, there are people I know, people who come to me. I've been doing this for almost 40 years now. And I started Sunday Baroque almost 40 years ago. And it was Sunday Morning Baroque in my local community back in Connecticut originally, before we launched it nationally. And there are people who come to me now and tell them that they became musicians because they heard the classical station or they heard my show or both. There are people who say that they cultivated a love for music. There are people who say they cultivated a love for classical music after having been, rock and roll fans or heavy metal fans or whatever, because the music was so welcoming on WGUC, because the announcers are so companionable. And so I think, these are just but a few reasons to support this organization, because, we don't want to leave anybody behind. There's so much important music to be heard and beautiful music from the past to be heard. And we don't want to leave that behind. We want to make sure that culture is the lasting thing in a society, arts and culture. And we can't turn our backs on that.
And I will say hats off to GUC for having a couple of great performing spaces, so you can do live performances, in addition to recorded.
Yeah, I think it's a real nod to the future to see, the video capability, the lighting, the sound systems, the in-person spaces as well. And I know I'm tickled pink to be here and absolutely thrilled that you both found time in your very, very busy schedules to do this.
Absolutely. And I want to give a shout out to Brian, our engineer today, because, bringing in capable, talented, skilled people to run this beautiful state-of-the-art Lamborghini of a studio is also important.
Brian Neese, thank you for your work today. And I asked you for two, but you were kind enough to say, we're going to give you one more little bonus cut. So
what we've brought for a little encore for you is a piece by a Brazilian composer and guitarist named Celso Machado, and also another living musician. And we call it our Sweet Suite, because SWEETSUITE, because, and we save it for last because it's like dessert, because each of the movements of this suite is like a little candy or a little sweet of some kind. And so this is called Pé de Moleque, and it's like a little peanut treat.
Yeah, it's like a Brazilian peanut brittle.
Mm-hmm. Going above and beyond, because that's just the way you two are. Thank you so much. Once again,
you're welcome.
Suzanne Bona and Richard Goering.
Thank you.
Thank you enough for being here today and for your support of public radio, but mostly for your stellar music and sparkling conversation. I've been visiting with guitarist Richard Goering, Suzanne Bona. For more information on their music or to make a contribution to WGUC during our fund drive, visit our website, WGUC.org. Thank you both.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cincinnati Public Radio is proud to support local music. You can become a sustaining member at WGUC.org or WVXU.org. Like and subscribe for more performances.